Welcome to the Unaffiliated Creatives Podcast, a show where independent artists can learn from other independent artists. My name is KAeveryday, and each week I will be speaking with some of the most creative minds in the indie music space, trying to figure out what they have learned while navigating through the music industry without the support of major record labels. This podcast is brought to you by the good people over at King Neppy Studios and powered by Red Weasel Media. Thanks for tuning in to the Unaffiliated Creators Podcast. I'm your host, KAeveryday. This is the Indie Artist Safe Place, so take off your shoes, get comfortable, and stay a while. Do us a favor and please rate the show. And if you have any feedback for us, please email us at unaffiliatedcreatives@gmail.com. The snippet you heard playing was a song titled D&D from indie artist Burnamaleik. Now that everybody has taken off their shoes and got comfortable, Burnamaleik, what you been up to?
Man, life, my boy, life. You know what I'm saying? Got a new son. His shit about to be 2 in a little bit. This shit, dealing with him, putting his music out. Shit, that's the day-to-day grind right there.
So the music and having a son, and that pretty much keep you busy, huh?
Yeah, man, that's my shit. Dad, I got like 5 businesses I run on top of this music. Man, I be busy. That's all I do.
All right. So I got to ask you this question because your stage name is pretty unique. So can you explain, like, what's the meaning behind your stage name?
Well, like Burnham, that shit is like, I use that to represent kind of like a flame I feel like I got inside of me. You know, for a long time I had big anger issues and shit. I learned how to deal with that shit over time, but you know, so that represents the flame inside of me in a way. You know, my middle name Malik. So growing up, my mom used to always call me by my middle name and shit. So just kind of put them two together. You know, came together like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So can you tell us, if it's not too personal, what was the first thing you did when you woke up this morning?
First thing I did is my son was screaming in my ear. Got him something to eat. That's the first thing I did.
Hey,
got him something.
my kids aren't newborns anymore, but I remember them times, man, when you're getting up in the middle of the night, having to feed them and stuff like that. So I can definitely relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 kids of my own. I mean, like I said, they're older now, but I remember them times like yesterday, so I definitely can relate.
Man, boy, yeah, I'm exhausted, but I love it though. You know what I'm saying? You can't never get that time back. That time is precious, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you be at work the next day falling asleep, but you know what it's all about. So,
yeah.
Hey, if you could only use one word to describe yourself, what word would it be?
Ambitious. Yeah, ambitious. I'm real dedicated and consistent and persistent on what I want to do. Anybody who know me know that when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. When I set my mind to it, I'm gonna make it happen. So yeah, that'll be the word right there, ambitious.
All right. So I'm pretty sure by now you've heard a lot of people say that apparently, you know, you learn something new every day. So with that being said, how do you keep learning?
How do I keep learning? I mean, by wanting to learn. I don't know. That's a difficult question. I mean, I feel like every day I try to learn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. How do I learn every day? That's a good one right there, man. I ain't never got that one before.
Well, I will say, being a music artist, we almost kind of forced to learn every day. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but the way the industry keep changing and the way, you know, trends and stuff keep changing, you kind of got to constantly keep researching, like, you know, what's going on, what's the trends, what are people doing, to kind of stay current in this game.
I'm big on like researching in general, you know, anything, you know what I mean? Like, they got to do with anything in life. So like anytime I come across some stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about, I'm going to research and I'm going to look it up myself. So, you know, that's pretty much damn near every day. If I come across some shit I don't know about, I'm going to look it up or whatever. So it's just more about when you just trying to gain that knowledge. It's really about what you want. I feel like that's, in order for you to learn every day, you got to want to learn. Most people ain't putting out the effort to try to gain any knowledge. But if you see something you're not noticing or you're not familiar with, you should always want to look it up, figure out what it is. That's how I move.
All right. Well, before this podcast, I did a little bit of research on you, man. So, I had to make sure I was prepared before we did this thing. So let me ask you this. So I see you was wearing a pair of cool grays in one of your music videos for a song titled D&D. So my question is, are those your favorite pair of Jordans? Or if not, what's your favorite pair and why?
Favorite pair? It's that, you know what? The crazy thing is, them probably is up there with my favorite pair because I got a story about them. When they came out, I was in high school back in I think it was 2010 or something like that. It was a minute ago when they came out for the first time. Or not for the first time, but the first time in a long time. And I stood in line. It's I think it was day before Christmas or something like that. Overnight in the cold, it was 10 degrees, bro, so cold. Stood there overnight, all night. I was in the front of the line, bro. I was about to get in. They was about to open the door to let everybody in the mall. They ended up opening the wrong door on the other side. Everybody that was in the back of the line got in the front of the line, and I didn't get my shoes. That was the worst experience of my life. And that was the year the Cool Grays came out. I was so mad. So
yeah, so you basically told yourself if they ever came out again, you was gonna make sure you got them shoes.
Exactly. I told myself, them ever come out again, I'm getting them. Because that definitely rubbed me the wrong way. I get pretty much every shoe I want to. So that's funny you mentioned that. Them probably are my favorite just because of that whole story and that situation and everything that happened.
Well, my story is a little different. So I actually was lucky enough to get those that came out in 2010. But actually, this is the Unaffiliated Creators podcast. So I treat all the people that come on the show like family. So I would say, or I would share with you that I think that my favorite pair of Jordans are the number 8s. I call them the Space Jams. But when most people think of Space Jams, they always think about the ones that Michael Jordan was wearing. But I'm talking about the ones that Bugs Bunny was wearing.
Bugs Bunny, yeah. I'm I thought you saw
the number 8s that got the strap.
Yeah.
The white ones. Them my favorite ones.
Yeah, them classics right there. They came out with them in a little minute. It's been
see, the last ones I think they came out with, instead of them being white, I think they might have actually came up with the black ones, and I prefer the white ones. So
yeah. I know which ones you're talking about, though. Them is cold. Cold. Fake it. I ain't gonna fake it.
All right, so I wore this hat today for a reason because I had to ask you this question, man. And I know you're going to explain it to me. So I was watching some videos, and it looked like you was wearing a LA Dodgers hat, but you from St. Louis, right?
Facts, yeah.
And St. Louis has a professional baseball team.
Facts,
so I was wondering, are you a St. Louis fan?
Yeah. I'm a fan of. I support everything St. Louis, but when it comes to the hats and stuff, it's just more the colors and stuff. For real.
That's what I thought. I was was he just wearing the LA hat because he,
but no, look,
just the colors?
But this the thing too, though. I lived in LA for a while, for about 4 years. So that's like a second home to me. I love LA. You know what I mean? So if I ever leave or whenever I move permanently, I plan on living in LA forever. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That is a second home to me. So, but I do support the Cardinals. Cardinals is, we cold at baseball, so I gotta support the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't really watch too much baseball anyway, for real.
Well, see, I have an excuse where I can kind of wear whatever hat I want because I'm in VA and we don't have a professional team. So, I'm like a free agent. I can pretty much get to wear whatever I want. So, I wear hats. Kind of like what you was doing with the LA hat. I just wear hats to just match my outfits. But I specifically wanted to wear this today just to prove the point. I saw you with the LA hat. I said, I got to ask this guy. The fact that he in St. Louis and they have a professional baseball team, but he was wearing another team's
Don't get me wrong though, man. I still put on that Cardinals cap, man. That red and white. That's definitely, I still throw that joint on for sure.
All right, so I had to ask you this question, man, because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is actually what caught my attention when I ran across your page on Instagram. Can you explain to the audience why you chose to use toy guns in your videos on social media instead of real guns?
Yeah, for sure. I'm big on like your perception and everything, you know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like a lot of times when you put guns and stuff in your video, you projecting negativity on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody got guns. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I got a gun. You know what I'm saying? What he flashing it ain't gonna really. It's not gonna scare you. It shouldn't put fear in your heart to like, oh, he got a gun. You know what I'm saying? So if that's not the method of my thinking, then why am I showing it? You know what I mean? Like if I'm not trying to intimidate you by showing you my gun, if I'm not trying to brag to you that I got a gun, then ain't no point in me showing you anything. You know what I mean? That's why I don't flash money in my videos either. Cause it's like, bro, I got money. I can flash, I can pull it out. But it's like, for what? They don't really do nothing but put a target on my back, put negative energy on me. It's like, it ain't really necessary. You know what I mean? So I didn't do it because I felt like that's what everybody else doing. And on top of that, it's gonna like it did to you, it's gonna make somebody stop and be like, hold up, he ain't doing no regular gun, he's doing something different. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna catch somebody's eye, make people think that stuff a little differently. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be looking at it. So yeah, that's why I did that. Mainly because I know, like, you know what I'm saying, it's about your perception and everything. You put that on yourself, and, you know, you can't be surprised when people try to come at you with that energy. You know what I mean?
So to kind of carry this conversation on just a little bit more, and I appreciate you taking the time to really explain that to me. And again, you having the toy guns is what kind of caught my attention. So why do you feel that in rap, for some reason, there's this sense that you have to keep it real, but in other industries, let's take like movies, right? So Denzel can play a role in Training Day. He can, play the role of a gangster, but in real life, he's not a gangster. So, it's a form of entertainment when it comes to movies. But for some reason in rap in particular, it seems like there's this thing where it can't be looked at as just entertainment, and people feel a sense that they have to keep it so real that they're introducing things into their music and their videos and stuff that they probably shouldn't. Or, I know you've been seeing what's been going on here lately with all these different cases and stuff. I'm just curious, like, what you think, like, why do you think, because, like, I give you an example, like in R&B music or other genres of music, there is no real sense of feeling that you got to keep it real. It's just a sense of entertainment.
I think that comes from like with the rap shit. Well, I'm sorry, with the rap music scene. It's just like everybody, it's been pushed on us to keep it real in rap. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like the way that we are portrayed as rappers is different than ways that R&B singers are portrayed and everything like that. Like I was talking to one of my other homies about this the other day, and it's like, he be making dope trap songs, but he's not a trapper. And I told him, like, you know what, you could still sell that by just getting super creative and do it in like a way of an actor and like, make it a parody in a way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people like it. So it's like, but I feel like a lot of people in rap, they just feel like they gotta keep it real because that's what it's been told to us through years of the industry, you know what I'm saying? Like what we grew up watching. We grew up watching people who was rapping. We seen them doing stuff and then they rapping about it, so it matched what they doing. I don't know, it's just expected. But I don't think it should be like that though. I agree. I think it should be on some like, it just should be looked at as entertainment, but I don't know why it's like that. I don't know. I can't even pinpoint it. I'm usually good at that type of stuff, but I really can't even pinpoint why rappers are looked at so differently as far as like, with what we saying in our music. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All right. So I ran across this video of you singing. So I just had to ask you, are you comfortable singing without using auto-tune on your voice?
A little bit, but nah, I wouldn't say like a full percent. I consider myself I would say an average, maybe below average singer. Like I put it on a scale. Like you got your 10s are like your Whitney Houstons, your Mariah Careys, like amazing, Giveon, amazing singers. Then you got your mid-levels, maybe that looks like an 8 on the list. You got your Ride Waves, people who can really sing, but they probably ain't on that top tier level. Then you got your Drakes, your 6, on the scale. They can hit a note, stay in their pocket, But if you try to ask them to do too much, you're going to hear some cracks and some wiggles, and you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I fall within that like 6 realm. Like if I can stay in my pocket, and it's going to sound good if I stay in my pocket. But as soon as I start trying to, maybe go a little too high of an octave and bring myself a little too low, I might hear a little crack here and there. So that just comes with practice, though. I feel like a lot of people, everybody has the capability of being at least a decent singer. You just got to practice and like work on your vocals and learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you and all that. So right now, I would say I'm comfortable to sing like a song that I would know that I can sing. But if you tried to get me to sing a song that you wanted me to sing, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with it because I wouldn't know if I could hit all the notes that's in that song. You know what I mean?
I know you probably didn't even really catch what you just said, but I'm just going to highlight it for those that's going to be tuning into this podcast. So you just put several singers on a scale, and you, by just telling us what the scale was, you basically just said that you would give Drake a run for the money when it comes to singing.
Oh, yeah, facts.
I just want to put that out there. I don't know if you even realize that's what you did. So,
definitely.
Hey man, it's looking like we might need to set up a versus, man. Y'all go song.
Hey. Tell Champagne Poppy get happy, man. He ain't ready.
Man. All right, so let me ask you this. So what era of rap do you feel was the best era and why? So, you had the 80s, you had the 90s, the early 2000s, or now. Out of all those eras, what era do you think was the best when it comes to rap?
Are we talking like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about like lyrical, or are we talking about like impact? What are we talking about?
Just overall, like which one do you think was the best? Like which one do you think had like the best artists, the best lyrics, the best overall songs? Like what era do you think was the best when it comes to rap?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think this is definitely me being biased because this is the era I grew up around. But I'm definitely gonna go with the 2000s, like 2000 to 2006. Like really, like I would probably say like 97 to 2006, like that little gap there. But like I just know like growing up, like the rap music we was hearing on the radio was like it was hard. It was still like street, but it wasn't like too like kill a shoot a dude up type joint. It was still have fun, go to the club. We had Lil Jon, all them up. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of people out at that time, Ludacris, and it was going crazy. Atlanta was going crazy at that time, when I was a kid. So, like, I think about 50 Cent and, like, all them, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the hits that we had growing up, like, in rap was crazy. Like, 90s...
the Jay-Z, the Nas, the...
Yeah, like, 90s rap was dope, like, as far as lyrical, but I don't think the 90s rap had as many hits as the early 2000s rap did. Early 2000s rap, it was so many hits. You had Cameron going crazy, Dipset, like Lil Wayne was going through his run in the early 2000s. Like, man, like it was so much going on in the early 2000s, like musically. Like, I definitely get at that decade the run right there.
So I'll probably have to agree with you, and I'll just add on to what you said. I think the reason why I like that era, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like back then, everybody had to have a unique voice and a unique style. Like now it seems like there's more people, a lot of people kind of sound alike now. Because like you see something trending, you see something catchy, and you see everybody riding a certain wave, and then everybody follows that. And I mean, it's cool, you can make money on it real quick. But back then, all the artists had a unique style and a unique sound, and nobody was trying to sound like the next person.
I think a lot of that though, we gotta attribute to the access that people have now. Like back in like the early 2000s, even like when I first started rapping, like back in like 2013, you couldn't really like finding studios weren't as accessible as they are now. Like kids recording songs and going viral off BandLab on their phone. If I had BandLab when I was in high school or when I was in middle school, you know what I'm saying? Going up. So it's like everybody got access to record now. Anybody can be a rapper now. Back then, anybody couldn't be a rapper. So it was a lot less people that they was going to give that opportunity to even get in the studio and make a record trying to sound like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't even going to let you do that. But like now, you can do it yourself. You can go get your own studio, get your own recording, and everything, put up the whole template to sound exactly like another dude. So that's why I feel like it's the access. People got more access to do it. You know what I'm saying? It probably would have been happening then if they had access to do it then, but they ain't have it then. You had to really know somebody to get into the studio or have a connection with the label or something like that. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as easy as it is now.
All right. So it's going to take me a little bit to really get this question out. But once I answer, I know you're going to get emotional. So in the previous interview, I saw you talking about, the high-speed rapping and how St. Louis is the place that should get the credit for creating that style. So can you explain how you think the St. Louis rappers Nelly and Chingy also influenced rap culture?
Yeah, they influence rap culture by, I don't know though. Like, it's hard for me to think about. That's a good question. Like, just off the top of my head, like thinking about how they influence culture. Like, because then when I think about how you influence culture, I think about like your tree. You know what I'm saying? Who came after you that was influenced by you? You know what I'm saying? So Drake has said he was influenced by Nelly. You know what I'm saying? So now that I think about it, that's where I would give, like, for example, Nelly, his impact on the music scene was he was really the first dude to make it cool to do country music and rap at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And he was really doing that, melodic rap stuff before a lot of people was doing it too. So, you know what I'm saying? That's where he really, I feel like, get a lot of credit. It should get a lot of credit for, you know what I'm saying, being a pioneer in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, back in the early 2000s, Nelly was going crazy. He was probably up, I think he was one of the top selling artists during that time, if not the top selling artist during that time. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a big accomplishment. And shit, Chingy was coming right behind him on the same type of wave. So, and Chingy definitely just showed me love before. So I know I hope he continue to have success, man. That's OG right there.
So you're right. Nelly was one of the first ones that really was doing the singing. And he made it cool. Like, before him, if you saw a rapper really trying to sing, you kind of was looking at him like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see if you could break this down for me, because I'm not from that area, so I don't really know all the ins and outs of how this works. But you said that St. Louis has a unique style when it comes to the high-speed rapping, but this is just my opinion. Nelly and Chingy don't really seem like they really rap like that. It's almost like they had like a different style
No.
than the high-speed rapping that you're talking about. So
yeah, the new sound in St. Louis is nothing like what Nelly and Chingy doing. It's absolutely nothing was like it. I mean, and the thing is, like, these young dudes in St. Louis, they rapping about what they living. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, there's no cap rap over here. Like, I promise you, like, you can come out here and see it. Like, it's high. You just go to Fox 2 News or KMOV. That's our local news station. Every day, you're going to see a high-speed chase on the news, or somebody then, you know what I'm saying, got shot. It's just like, it's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So Nelly and them was rapping about more positive and having fun, and like, these young dudes, they can't really rap about that because that's not what they experiencing. You know what I'm saying? They experiencing everyday warfare type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they rapping about, and that's why that ain't the same as what Nelly then was doing. So the sound that we doing now, well, I ain't even a part of that because I don't really do that type of stuff, because that's not the type of lifestyle I live. I like to rap about stuff I'm living. I'm not living like that. So for the people that's doing that, which is
all right. This kind of a trick question, because I was curious to see what you was going to say. So name me your top 5 St. Louis rappers, dead or alive, in any order. Like, you don't have to rank them in any kind of order.
Dead or alive. I mean, we going off of like what? But I mean, you know what? because if we talking about like right now, then that's different than like, if you said all time. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody. I mean, you could put Nelly and Chingy in there if you want to.
Nelly and Chingy they have to be on the list if you're talking about top St. Louis rappers of all time. It's just disrespectful to not even put them on that list. That'd be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So you got. At that point, it'd be everybody who had a hit and successfully made it out of St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that many. You know what I'm saying?
I think Jaquan from St. Louis.
Yeah, Jaquan. You got Gibbs and you got Huey. That'll be the top 5 right there.
Murphy Lee was in part of that. You know, he was part of.
Yeah, Murphy Lee was the part of the St. Lunatics. So the whole St. Lunatics went up. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta get them they flowers on that. But right now, I mean, I got to give, the young dudes they flowers because they coming up. It's a young boy, AMR DeHancho. He like one of the hardest in the city. 3 Problems. He been going crazy right now. It's a lot of dudes in our city like that's going up and really deserve recognition. They gonna get it. They just got to keep putting that work in. You know what I'm saying? I'm right there too. Don't get it twisted. I'm right on their neck. I just started really putting in the extra work on this rap stuff recently. So. I'm gonna be in that top 5 in there in a minute too.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, that's why I said this was a trick question. The reason why I asked that question because I was curious to see if you was gonna put yourself in the top 5 because I noticed, and I guess to be a rapper, you almost have to be like really confident. But a lot of times when I talk to artists and I ask them these kind of questions, they feel like, look, they can pretty much, run up against anybody. They're like, look,
I mean, definitely, I feel like that. But at the same time, like I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you an objective, real answer. You know what I'm saying? I could be arrogant and come on here and say, "Oh yeah, I'm the best." You know what I'm saying? Of course, I feel like that, but you know what I'm saying? I still got it. I'm still gonna give you the answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of dude. I'm a real individual. So if you ask me a question about it, I'm gonna tell you what I feel about it. So I know that I ain't put enough work in to be a top 5 rapper in my city yet. But I know that I'm capable of that and I'm going to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, the premise of this show is basically independent artists learning from other independent artists. And I'm an independent artist myself. So, a lot of times I can relate to, what you guys are going through. But this question is basically for you to help anybody else that could be listening to this podcast. So what mistakes, if any, have you made so far in your music career that we could all learn from?
Passing on opportunities. Yeah, I tell niggas that all the time. Well, I tell people that all the time. You can't never, you should never pass up on opportunities. You never know what they could be or who they could be from, what it could turn out into. You never know who somebody know. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when I first started rapping, like my third song I ever dropped went viral. It went crazy, like hundreds of thousands of plays in the first week. And I started to get a little cocky. I started to feel like, well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't need to respond to certain people. You know what I'm saying? I was getting a lot of messages, so I wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? You start feeling yourself a little bit. And I missed out on opportunities, you know what I'm saying? Like people that ended up surpassing me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, I looked at it like, well, they below me. I don't really need to work with them. But it ain't. You should never look at no situation like that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that ever come at you with an opportunity, if it makes sense, you should take it because you never know where the opportunity could lead you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest advice to any upcoming artist. I missed out on features with some of the biggest artists in the game right now because I wasn't willing to sacrifice and make that jump or that leap of faith. So. Always, bro, if you get an opportunity and you on your last, but you got a feeling, trust your gut, bro, and take that chance because you're gonna appreciate the fact that you did it instead of regretting the fact that you didn't. So, yeah, never pass on an opportunity. Take every chance that comes to you and go hard at all of it.
Well, I got to be honest with you, man. That's probably some of the best advice that I've heard from a lot of the artists that I've had on this podcast since I've been doing it. I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't give good advice, but that right there, that was good.
That's the most impactful thing that I noticed in my career. Like looking back on stuff, I was like, dang, like, yeah, I don't know if I think you have sound like you heard a little bit of my interview with Dirty Club Bastard, but I talked about how I had the opportunity to get a feature with Lil Yachty right before he blew up. Like Minnesota was viral. Millions of views. This is right before Broccoli dropped. I still got the email to this day. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't take the chance because I didn't feel like I had enough money to do it, or I didn't want to spend my last. But for the little amount of money he was asking for, bro, you make that in 2 weeks. 2 weeks working a regular job. If you really hustle, you can make that in, a couple of days. Like I was playing, you know what I'm saying? And I missed out on something that could have potentially changed my life. Who knows? It probably wouldn't have, but now I never know. You know what I'm saying? What would have happened if I did that? So now I don't pass on nothing because I know how that could turn out.
All right. Well, before I get you out of here, just tell the audience where they can find you online. Like, give us a couple of minutes. Just drop all your, your social media tags and everything so people can find your music and everything.
Yeah. It's Burnamaleik everywhere. That's Burnamaleik. E before the I. That's important. I feel like my mama, I'm the only person, like, it's like I Google searched it. I'm like one of very few people who spells their name like that. So, Maleik, Burnamaleik. That's on every platform: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you use anything, TikTok, it's gonna be Burnamaleik. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. So I've never done this before, but I figured I would give you the opportunity. Is there anything that you would want to ask me?
Yeah, so I mean, what made you start the platform?
To be honest with you, the reason why I started it is because, like I said, I'm an independent artist. So I kind of, I know what independent artists go through. And I know that, as an independent artist, a lot of times, you might have limited resources. You might not have all the money to do a lot of things that you want. And it just seems like we don't really get the opportunities to really push our music out and push our, what we're trying to do out. So I was like, you know what? I'll just create this as another platform and I'll give, opportunities to independent artists where they might not have opportunities otherwise.
Right.
So, it's kind of like I'm trying to reach out, trying to show love, trying to give back. And, that whole saying, be a blessing to others and in turn you will be blessed. So I'm just kind of like, I'm just trying to bless people. I'm just trying to, be a vehicle to try to,
Yeah, man, I appreciate you reaching out to me, man. Like you said, these type of platforms, it's rare to really find them on an independent level anyway. So when you do find some of them, you know what I'm saying, you got your setup right, you got everything together. It seems like you on your way. So, you know what I'm saying, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. I like everything you got going on right now. Is this dropping on like what platform you dropping this on? So
it drops on. So it's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on several other platforms, and I also put the videos on YouTube, and of course I put them on Instagram and stuff like that. So there'll be several places where people would be able to go to listen to it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just send me the link to the YouTube so I can repost everything. I want to make sure I definitely promote this joint because I appreciate you, boy, for real.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time to come on today, man, and be good and stay safe.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.